If there were two things I enjoyed as a child, it was scary stories and Pokemon. And if I'm gonna be honest, what I enjoyed the most out of both of them were the ghosts. Whether the story was about a murder most foul, or if it was just me wailing on other Pokemon with my ghost types, I've always enjoyed them. So, to celebrate the release of Pokemon X and Y, and seeing as though I love ghosts so much, I've decided to do a top 5 ghost Pokemon list. Now before we begin, there's some rules we need to discuss. Number 1, Rule number 1. The Pokemon I pick are based on personal preference, and not so much on the stats. I will mention them, but I'm not basing it off the stats. Rule number 2. I will not be using any ghost types from the new generation. No! Rule number 3. It's not about the stats. Get over it. Maybe a little, but anyway. Rule number 4. I will not be using more than one Pokemon from the same evolutionary chain. For example, Haunter and Ghastly, or Yamask and Cavigrines. Anyway, now that we got that all the way, sit back, relax, and try not to crap yourselves, because we're going into the top 5 ghost Pokemon. Okay. The top 5 ghost Pokemon. God damn! Number 5. Duskclops. Half Cyclops, half samurai armor with a face mask that looks like it was crushed by a piano, Duskclops is a hulking behemoth of a Pokemon with great defensive stats and high attack power. And I know what you're thinking. Johnny boy, out of all the ghost-type Pokemon to choose from, why someone as weird as Duskclops? Well, growing up, I only had the first 3 generations of Pokemon. And even though Yellow was my favorite, I probably played Ruby the most. And every time I started over a new guy and wanted to switch out the type advantages, I'd always pick Duskclops. I know there's other ghost types, but I wasn't really a fan of Sableye. And since I had Ruby version, I didn't get Showput until near the end of the game. Besides, even if I could catch Showput earlier, its evolved form gives me the willies. Ugh. Number 4. Haunter. When I was a lad back in the oldest generation of gaming, I only had 2 Game Boy games to play, Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Silver. And each time I started a new guy on either one of them, I would try to swap Haunter out for a different ghost Pokemon. But I could never really find a reason to do it. I mean, on Pokemon Yellow, I didn't really have much of a choice because Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar were the only ghost Pokemon in the game. But on Pokemon Silver, you don't find Misdreavus until the end of the game. And even if I could get her earlier, I wouldn't because she's terrible. Besides, Haunter's base stats are nothing to sneeze at. With high special attack and speed, he's still a very good addition to any team. And I know he can evolve into Gengar if you trade him with a friend, I'm not an idiot, but that's just it. I didn't have any friends growing up. Or at least the ones that I did have didn't play Pokemon. But who needs Gengar with his super high special attack and speed or his cool designs? Besides, it's not like Gengar can get any better or anything, right? No. 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 Number 3. This guy. Even though I can't pronounce his name, and mummies technically aren't ghosts, this guy is no joke. With crazy defense stats, he can take almost any attacks with ease. And I know I already have one Pokemon with high defense stats, but the reason this guy is so high on the list is because of his and Yamask Pokemon entries. I mean, just listen to Yamask. Each of them carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. Now, I'm not really into the subject of death in Pokemon games, but that's just so sad. I mean, to have a mask that looks like you when you're alive and cry every time you look at it, it's just so sad. If I was Yamask, I might have to put a paper bag over my mask. Just saying. But the good news is, I don't think they could make a Pokedex entry sadder than Yamask's. Huh. Sweet. Got a Phantom. Wonder what his Pokedex entry is. Number 2. Chandelure. Now, I know I said I wouldn't base a Pokemon solely on the stats, but holy crap. Chandelure has massive special attack. When I caught a Litwick, I was a little skeptical at first, but when I EV trained him, he was one of the best Pokemon I have ever had. He could one-shot most of the Elite Four's Pokemon. So, Chandelure, you get a gold star. Let me just slap that on. Good job. Number 1. Now, I know most of the ghosts in the series are more focused on special attack and defense, but most of the time, I want a Pokemon that just gets the job done with its bare hands. If only there were a Pokemon like that. Oh wait, frickin' Golurk. Half Golem, half Ghost, 100% Chuck Norris approved. Golurk is a monstrous ghost type with super attack stats and very high health. Golurk is definitely no joke. But not only is he a strong fighter, he has an ability that is one of my favorites in the series, Iron Fist. Now, if you're not familiar with Iron Fist, it powers up almost all punching types moves by 15, such as Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, etc., etc. So, let me get this straight. He's a golem, a ghost, and destroys things by beating the crap out of them. Frickin' beast. And if all these reasons were not enough to convince you of how awesome this Pokemon is, there's one more thing that I know will surprise you. He can fly. And that was my top 5 ghost Pokemon list. And if you didn't like it, I will write you a strongly worded letter, you son of a bitch. Hey, did you like the video and want to tell me how good I did? Or did you hate the video and want to tell me how fat I am? Well, unfortunately for you and me, Google Plus kind of messed up the comment section. So you can either click the like or dislike button. And if you want to follow more of my fat shenanigans, click that subscribe button.